What's up YouTube, Webbers5 here, coming at you today with with the showcase of my White Forest Azamina deck, which I have now finished pretty much upgrading from Alliance Insight, with the exception of one card from the set, which I'm hoping to pick up tonight. But I figured I'd like to try and get the profile out before like the official release date tomorrow, so just try and get it out there. And also guys, before I get into the profile, just a couple notes about my build to just sort of deter comments about it later. So for starters, I don't currently have Deception. I'm planning to get Deception. I'm just kind of waiting on getting paid right now. But I know exactly where the Deception's going to go, so that's all sorted out. Second thing, I don't play the Fiendsmith engine. I'm slowly trying to pick it up, but I feel like even after I'm done picking it up, I'm not sure if I can figure out the space for it because it's pretty tight at the moment. But I'll have a think about it after I've finished picking up a full Fiendsmith engine. And the other thing I need to mention, I think those are the only main bits. So without further ado, let's get into the profile. Okay guys, starting the profile off with the White Forest side, so pretty stable stuff. 3 LZ, 3 Sylvie, 1 Yugioh, 1 Estella, and 1 LZ Azamina of the actual already existing stuff. So actually, these are the main starters. Yugioh for an extender. I know a lot of builds are now cutting Estella, but for the moment I'm keeping her in, just because I don't have as much of. Just because for the moment I'm trying to figure out what ratios work best. Initially, if I find I don't need her, it's just an easy card to side out. And then 1 LZ just as another way of doing fusion summoning. Then and then like newest mods, and then actually the newest monster in the deck from the new sport. 1 Diabell's the White Witch. So she's always treated as a White Forest. For those that don't know, she gives your monsters immunity of effect destruction while you've got another Diabell monster on the field. So she's got like the standard White Forest condition to be special summoned. That allows her to special summon herself. And when she's summoned, you get to mill a Diabell or Sinful Swirl trap. So guys, the main combo in that is we're playing the new Diabell traps that just got released. Diabell cards that got released. So when you summon Diabell the White Witch, you go send Curse of Diabell, which has a semi-decent first effect, but the effect we really care about is the second effect, which is send it to grave, and then you get to search for a Diabell spell or trap, except itself. So we add Filia Diabell. And this lets you add a level 8 or higher Diabell monster from your deck to your hand, which you will use for grabbing the new Diabell Star Vengeance. So Vengeance is pretty insane. Vengeance is pretty insane as it is. So Vengeance can be easily summoned just by banishing a spell or a trap, which by going through the combo, you've already got. And then you've got your 2 Diabells on the mention, which gives your monsters card effect destruction, immunity by card effect destruction. And then Vengeance has a pretty useful effect. So it's a quick effect: pay half your life points, target a monster, destroy it. Then if you've got another Diabell monster, you can summon a Synchro Tuner from your extra deck. So it's another useful way to like drop one of your White Forest synchros. You can use the new one, which I'll get into when I get to the extra deck. Or probably one thing I like to do is summoning Silvera just to book my opponent's board. So yeah, it's pretty sweet combo there if you can do with this. Going into like the end now of my White Forest engine. So one copy of Tails as a search card. One copy of I'm playing one copy of Sinful Spoils of the White Forest. This is primarily use it for as like the fusions for like the fusion summoning effect, since as I said I don't have Deception for the moment, but I'm still probably going to keep it in because I like the flexibility of it being both a White Forest and a Sinful Spoils card. Which additionally, guys, I forgot to point out that is another advantage of the new Diabell's Star. Diabell's Star Vengeance is always treated as a Sinful Spoils card, so and the summon works from hand and from grave, so if you go Hallowed Azamina, you can use this as part of the material, which is pretty useful, which is a lot more useful now, particularly with the new fusion monster we've got, which, as I said, I'm planning to play, but I don't have yet. So, just going off there. And then playing 3 copies of the new Witches of the White Forest. Naturally, this is just a really good search card for any White Forest monster, but after you get the add of the first effect, you are locked out of summoning dark monsters for the remainder of the turn. So that's not completely terrible in regards to the Azamina engine. It just means do the Azamina side first, then play Witch, and then you're pretty much fine. The other effects, they're okay. The second effect is okay, or I feel is alright, because that's just giving each of your White Forests a once per turn battle immunity. And then the last effect, which lets you target a White Forest and treat it as a tuner monster. So I'm pretty sure the purpose in that last effect is like if you've got 2 2s, you can treat one as a tuner so that you can synchro into the level 4. But guys, with all the abilities that we've got to summon synchro tuners from the extra deck, let's be honest, we're not doing that. And then my last card in the White Forest engine, One Woes of the White Forest, which for the moment kind of doesn't feel needed, but as I said, I'm still working on the build, so this is just what I'm working with for the moment. And then going into the remainder of the Diabell engine, so I'm playing one black witch, 3 wanted, add new edition because I found it in my bulk. Simple Spoils of Slumber Morgan. So when I was checking out builds of how I wanted to build my deck for this format, I've seen a lot of builds playing this card. I took a quick read of it. I was like, so it's a book for a special summon monster, and it's a Sinful Spoils. Cool. So yeah, why not? Then the remainder of and then what would be a continuation of that would be playing 1 Hallowed Azamina, and currently I'm playing 1 Azamina Deptors. The Deptors is primarily for the reason, guys, as I said, I don't currently have Deception. Once I get Deception, the Deception's going in and the Deptors is coming out. Simple as that. So that's it. So that covers pretty much the engine side of the main engine side of Azamina and White Forest. Next, and then pretty much the remainder of my deck is hand trap. So hand traps, 3 Ash Blossom, 2 Droll and Lockbird, and one Effect Veiler, just as the main ones. So Ash, easy. Veiler at 1 because you can search it. 2 Droll because Droll's just really strong in this format. Additionally, I'd like to have 1 in my deck so I can protect myself with Cross-Out Designated, because, guys, very similar to Pendulum, guys. This deck dies very heavily to Droll and Lockbird, but unlike Pendulum, I actually have the space to run counters to it. Then additional bits within the hand traps. So playing 1 Bestial Magnamute and 1 Bestial Druisworm. I figured with the amount of light decks in the format right now, this is just pretty decent as disruption. And then also their levels help with the with some of the synchros I'm playing. Then and then the last from my one-ofs for limited cards are one Triple Tactics Talent and one Call by the Grave, which naturally kind of self-explanatory. And then last card in my deck, three infinite impermanents. Again, pretty self-explanatory. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Going into the extra deck, I'll start with the White Forest. So playing one Silvera, one Reclia. I still can't figure out if I'm pronouncing that right, but that's what I go with. And then from the and then one Diabell, Queen of the White Forest, as the standard from the old stuff we play. When I was first looking at the deck, I was questioning, why does the deck only play one of each synchro? Then I read the Tuna Monster, I'm like, you just recycle them. Makes sense. So yeah. From recent games I've had at my locals, like, always summoning this to get my early search. I like summoning this either with the trap or off Diabell's effect to just book my opponent's stuff, which is quite useful. The Diabell herself, I don't seem to find myself making too frequently, but she's really useful when she comes up. And then newer synchros, complements of Alliance Insight. So one Poplar of the White Forest and one Snake Eyes Vengeance Dragon. So Poplar, another synchro tuner. So it has a pretty useful effect that when if it's special summoned, you can target 2 White Forests in your grave and put them face up in your back row as spells. And like lots of the old common synchro tuners, it's got the quick synchro effect on your opponent's. It's got a quick synchro effect on your opponent's turn. So pretty useful, and actually because of the level, that's why the field spell lets you manipulate level 2s into tunes. In case you're ever in a position you want to hard synchro summon this. But let's be honest, guys. Which of us is ever going to hard synchro summon this? And also I found with the first effect of putting them into the back row, that can serve up another use, which I'll get into my extra deck, which I'll go to later. And then Vengeance Dragon, it's a generic 12, so that's pretty interesting. So it's got some pretty nice quick effects. So quick effect, it can target a monster on the field or target a monster in the main phase, target a monster on field or grave, and pop it into the appropriate back row as a continuous spell. So cool. Now we can do like front Snake Eye shenanigans of blocking up back row. And then the second effect kind of works off that as well. Lets you target a continuous spell on the field and a monster, pop both. It's pretty useful like that. Yeah, I quite like it, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else I can do with it. Okay, moving into going into my Azamina fusion line, playing one Ilia Sylvia, the Omni Negate, Moo Recliago. I don't really tend to do this one too frequently, but seems pretty nice if you've got multiple Azaminas on board. One Soul. Okay. Why are these names so hard? I suppose it's also difficult because I'm trying to read this from upside down. So, alright, you guys know what I mean. So, I don't really tend to use this one very much, but does seem to have the nice effect of sending something to the grave. And then last current card in my Azamina lineup is Saint Azamina. So this is kind of a bit. So with some of the newer stuff, this is like a bit easier to go into now. And it kind of just seems really good in the format we're going into of like locking your opponent out of doing much with their grave. So yeah, kind of feels like a pretty good time to be using it. And guys, I'll just quickly sort this now. I am playing currently one copy of Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend just as another synchro target. However, this is going to actually be cut out, and I'm planning to try the new Azamina fusion monster who is just called Azamina, so it's just kind of awkward trying to explain that, but you guys probably already knew that. So, plan to give that a try because it does look pretty interesting. And last couple bits of my fusion lineup. So as I said, going off the Snake Eyes Vengeance, that gives us now easiest use of Snake Eyes Doom Dragon, because you put White Forest in the back row as continuous spells, which meets the summon requirements of Snake Eyes Doom Dragon. And with Doom Dragon, you can just put a problematic card into the back row and just, you know, leave it there. And it's a solid 3k attack, which is pretty nice. And then last fusion monster I'm playing, one copy of Guardian Chimera. This is also another reason why I'm playing Sinful Spores of the White Forest, because that's got the fusion summon effect. I actually want to misplay with this slightly because I chose to summon something from hand before I was doing the White Forest fusion spell, so I kind of messed up and I didn't get to pop as many cards which I needed to. But still, I like the option of it. Will it stay? I'm not entirely sure. Then a couple other synchros I'm playing. One Blackwing Assault Dragon. So I really like this, just primarily the 3200 attack. Sometimes I just kind of need that little bit extra attack to hit over something, and the ability to just burn my opponent each time they do a monster effect is pretty nice as well. And then last synchro I'm playing, one Chaos Angel. We've got the levels that we can pretty easily do this somewhat. So plus since I'm playing the Bestials in my main, that's an easy way to get into 10 and get the light and dark effects. And then last card in my extra deck, one SP Little Knight, because Little Knight. Okay, and finishing up with my side deck, most of this is pretty self-explanatory. Some of it's going to change. I'm just waiting on some stuff to show up. So playing 3 Artifact Lancia, pretty self-explanatory against Malice. 3 DD Crow. Great. I'm finding the Grave is pretty huge at the moment. This is actually planned to be cut out since Crow useful, but only hits one card. I'm planning to have a go with Alev just a Cycle Reader because light decks just seem to be popping up everywhere right now. So a double D. So it's basically a DD Crow for light, but it hits 2 cards, which is great. Three triple tactics thrusts. Again, pretty self-explanatory card, and my side deck targets for it. 1 Harpy's Feather Duster and 1 Dimensional Barrier. Which again, pretty self-explanatory. Then this next one feels kind of weird for me to say how much I've despised it over the years playing Pendulum. But I'm playing 1 copy of Anti-Spell Fragrance in my side deck. Because since I'm not massively hugely spell reliant like I am with Pendulum, it works against most decks. And the fun part in White Forest is you could just go if you need to get rid of it, you could just send it off your White Forest effect. You can get it back with Diabell. It's not so bad. And then last card in my side deck, which is probably my favorite card in the side deck, 3 copies of Power Sink Stone. So this basically just acts as for those who don't know, this card basically just acts as a skill drain after it gets 2 Spellstone counters, which in this deck is so easy to do. I played this at my locals, it basically shut down a deck instantly because I just go Power Sink Stone when I've got the open chance. If I have an open chance before my opponent wants to do anything, I'll go Elzef. I'll go one of my tuner effects, 2 specials. I'll go one of my tuner effects, retreat a White Forest, special summon itself. Puts 1 counter on it. Elzef effect because I summoned a tuner on my opponent's turn, add it back to hand. 2, now my opponent's locked out of monster effects. And again guys, if you need to get rid of it, you just do. If not, it's just great. Okay guys, so that's the build I'm going with for the moment. Hope you all enjoyed it. As I said, I do apologize that there are a lot of changes I said I'm going to make in the deck, but I just don't have the cards yet. But to be fair guys, there's a lot we can do with this deck right now. Like, I know there are a lot of builds that are still using the Fiendsmith engine. I have nothing against that. I just, as I said, don't currently have it. And even if I did have it right now, I'm not sure I could figure out the space I need for it. I've also seen other kind of variants of this deck. Like, I've seen some variants that are testing out with, I think it's Crimson Dragon, so commit to a 12, and then you could use that 12 to either, you can summon the execute, or if you've already got the execute out on the field, summon things like Cosmic Blaze, summon Cosmic Blazar as another Omni Negate. Some people I've seen. The other advantage of it is you can target like Diabell as an 8, summon things like Crystal Wing. So it's got that nice bit of application. I might think of having a go at it if and when I can pick up a Crimson Dragon and some stuff around it. But for now, like, just trying to figure out what I want to do with the deck. But as I said guys, we've got loads of flexibility. Just have fun with it and just do what you like. Thank you so much for watching guys, and I will see you next time.